Hello and welcome back. In the last video, we spent a lot of time setting up Elasticsearch. We are going to do the same with Kibana. Okay, we are not going to use the image we have on Docker Hub. We're going to use something related to this. Okay, the image we're using for Elasticsearch. Now for Kibana, like I've said it before, Kibana is a dashboard. It's used to visualize the data you store with Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch is the database. Kibana is the front end. Okay, so Elasticsearch is the database where you save the data you want to visualize. Kibana is the client. Okay, so now let's go ahead and search for Kibana. So I will say Kibana Docker image. We are not going to use the official Docker image. We use this. So I will select this right here and install Kibana with Docker. So the base image we can. Now, if you want to see the list of published images from Elasticsearch, you can check this. Okay, and that is what we are using. You can see we have Elasticsearch, Kibana, we have Bits, we have APM. Okay, for now we don't need to care about those. Create a network. We already created a network, we'll just use it. And then this is the image we are going to use. Okay, this is for Elasticsearch. Let's scroll down. Let's scroll down right here. So I don't get, let me close this so I don't get confused. Okay, so run Kibana. First, we need to have, in order for you to run Kibana, you need to have Elasticsearch, because Kibana will try to connect to Elasticsearch. Otherwise, it will just be throwing error in the console. Okay, so you need to run Elasticsearch first. We're going to do that. And then, yes, this is the image we need. So we need to use this image to run Kibana. Okay, so let me create the service. So I'll call this Kibana. Container name, this will be Kibana underscore container. And then the image, this is the image we're going to use here. So this is the image right here. For you, the version might be different, might be higher. Okay, so I'll use this right here. And then the restart policy, always. Now, the major and only environment variable we're going to use here is the Elasticsearch environment variable. Okay, so we need to set the Elasticsearch host. Okay, so the environment variable is called Elasticsearch underscore hosts, and we set it equal to square brackets, and then we add the host. Now, if you are using the multi-node clusters, then you add all the service endpoints to this list. But since we are using only one node, it's going to be just one item in the list. It's going to be http://. Now remember, I said we are going to use the container name. In order for us to access one of these services, we use the container name. Because they are in the same network, Docker knows how to handle it. Okay, if they are running in different networks, then that is a different case, but they are running in the same network, so Docker knows how to handle it. So to get access to the service, http:// then Elasticsearch container : what's the port name? 9200. Okay, so with this here, Kibana will get access to the Elasticsearch service. Okay, so we've added that. Now let's add the ports. We add the ports, we add the network. Port for Kibana, it's 5601, 5601. And then for the networks, I'll call this Elastic. And then for volumes, now let's go back to the documentation. If we scroll down, right here, let's scroll down. Configure Kibana on Docker. Now it says the Docker images provide several methods for configuring Kibana. The conventional approach is to provide a kibana.yaml file. Okay, so in this video I have attached a kibana.yaml file. That is what we are going to use in our volumes. So basically what is going to happen is the kibana.yaml file we are providing, it will replace the kibana.yaml file in the config, inside the config folder. Okay, if we don't specify the kibana.yaml, it's going to use this. Okay, but if we set the kibana.yaml to this part, it's going to use our own kibana.yaml file that we are providing. So it will use that to replace the one in the config folder. Okay, so here, so just download the kibana.yaml file. We are going to use that. And yeah, so inside the volumes parts for the Kibana service. Okay, so now for the volume, place the kibana.yaml in the same directory as this Docker compose file. Okay, so for me, I will just create kibana.yaml. You can say kibana. For me, it's kibana.ml. And then just add it to this root. Now the most important thing here for us is the Spark Fleet Agent Elasticsearch host. Okay, so we are passing the Elasticsearch host. Now for this Fleet Agent, now you don't really need to worry about those, because those are like the recent ways by which we can access use Kibana to access Elasticsearch. Now we don't need to worry about all that. It's something a little bit different. Okay, so I think it's the recent way Elasticsearch has implemented how we can access Elasticsearch through Kibana. So don't worry about this fleet enabled. Yeah, okay, so what we are mostly interested in is this part here. We set our host, and then for this also don't worry about this. This is just policies. Once we get to the part of monitoring, we will set up our application performance monitoring. Then we are going to use this. Okay, yeah, then this one is not really important. We are not using any encryption. Okay, so just add this kibana.yaml in the root of the same directory, and now let's map it. So we are going to use /kibana.yml : now let me copy this one. So copy this one here, and then paste it. Okay, now for us, we'll just make it read only, RO. So this just represents read only. So what is happening here is, once Kibana starts running, it's going to use the configuration we have in our own kibana.yaml file. It's going to replace it, or it's going to use it to replace the Kibana YAML configuration file that is created in the config folder. Okay, so that is just all we are doing right here. And the reason why we are doing that is so that we can specify our Elasticsearch service parts. Okay, and then lastly, we don't want Kibana to start until Elasticsearch is running, so we say Kibana depends on Elasticsearch. And then yeah, we already have the network. Okay, so this is just all we need to do right here. This is Elasticsearch_hosts, and then we set the port, the network, the volumes. We are using our own kibana.yaml file, and then this depends on the Elasticsearch. So if this doesn't run, Kibana will just, even though it starts, it will just be throwing errors in the console. Okay, so with this, these are what we need, the services we need in order for us to start. There are other services we are going to add, but we don't need them yet. Like when we are going to implement monitoring, so we need to set up APM server, okay, application monitoring server. We are going to implement that. We are going to implement heartbeats from Elasticsearch. It will be used to monitor the our different microservices APIs or endpoints, or to check that they are always active. Then we are also going to add metric beats. Metric beats is going to be used to monitor the machine that our services are running on, but we are not going to implement them now. we're going to implement them later. In the next video, we are going to try to run these services.